Hello students, myself Shangomitra. Today I am going to introduce the chapter The 100 Dresses. It has two parts, part 1 and part 2. The story has been written by Aile Basser Ister, who is a renowned author. She is known for her children's stories. The 100 Dresses is one of her famous writing. She hailed from the US and was born in West Haven. Some of her famous works include Ginger Pie, the Moffat series, The Echoing Green, The Alley, and many others. She was awarded the Newbery Medal for her writing The Ginger Pie. Now discussing about the characters, the main protagonist is Wanda Petronsky. She is the heroine in this story, and about that girl, the main story is going on. So Wanda Petronsky is a very poor girl. She has no friends. She lives with her father and her brother. And Petronsky, her surname, it's difficult to pronounce for everyone. That's why other students makes fun of her. And she tells students she has 100 dresses and 60 shoes. Next, another main character is Peggy. Peggy, she waits for Wanda to tease her. Tease means disturb. She created a game where they would ask Wanda to talk about dresses. She is not cruel, but at the beginning of the story, she does not feel she is being cruel to Wanda because she never made her cry and she is different from others. Another character is Maddie, the third main character, and Maddie and Peggy always they are teasing to Wanda, and Maddie waits. She waits for Wanda to tease her. Peggy's inseparable friend. She bothers her to make fun of Wanda. She is poor. She teases Wanda so others do not tease her. So these three main characters in this story. Some minor characters are in this story. First one is Miss Mason, who is the teacher in room number 13. Second character, Bill Byron, who is a student who sits in the seat behind Wanda. He has long legs and likes to amuse other students in room number 13. Another student is Willie Bounce in room number 13. His surname is compared to Wanda Penrosky's. Both are considered humorous, but for different reasons. Next one is Simpson, who is an old man who lives near Wanda and her family in Boggins Heights. Next, Cecil. Cecil is a student in room number 13. She dresses in fine clothes and practices ballet. On the day the 100 Dresses game begins, schoolgirls gather around Cecil to admire her new red dress. Next, Jack Petronsky, who is Wanda's brother. Next, Jan Petronsky, who is Wanda and Jack's father. Jan writes a letter to Miss Mason to inform her that he is moving his family to the city, a more multicultural environment where his children won't encounter abuse because of their Polish surname. So these are the minor characters. This book, written by Aile Basser Ister, tells about a girl named Wanda Petronsky who just moved to a new town and is going to a new school, but she does not fit in with the other girls in her neighborhood. She is not as wealthy as they are. The other girls tease her about her speech and clothes. The other girls and teacher eventually realizes how cruel they were to Wanda. Through letters written by Wanda, this is a story about courage and negative effect bullies have on others. So let's see the summary of this story. First, I will tell part 1 and then part 2. Let's know part 1 summary in detail. Wanda Penrosky was a young Polish girl who went to school with other American children. She was different in many ways from other children. That day, Wanda was not in her seat. She usually sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13, where most of the boys made noises. She rarely said anything. Wanda came from Boggins height. Her feet were usually caked with dry mud. There were other girls named Peggy and Maddie. Most often, both these girls waited for Wanda Penrosky to have fun with her. Wanda did not have any friend, but a lot of friends talked to her. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not often fit her properly. Peggy asked Wanda courteously how many dresses she possessed. Wanda replied that she had 100 all lined up in the closet. All were surprised at her remark. About shoes, she replied that she had 60 pairs of all colors. Cries of politeness came from the students. Peggy was the closest friend of Wanda. She enjoyed fun with her, but she always protected small children from bullies. Bullies here means fake friends, false friends. She would cry for hours on seeing an animal mistreated. An animal indicates here Wanda Penrosky. Wanda is mistreated by other false friends, that is told here. If anybody asked about her protection for Wanda as cruelty, she would feel surprised. But why did Wanda say she had 100 dresses? She must have told the truth, Peggy thought. Other girls had never troubled her very much. According to the Peggy, Wanda must have told the truth. So what is the truth? Wanda did not have 100 types of dresses in number. Actually, she had only one dress, that is faded blue colored dress, and she used to wear that dress in most of the days. But she pretended here. For what? Actually, nobody could make mock with Wanda. That's why Wanda pretended herself. On the other hand, Maddie was a poor girl. She usually wore the old clothes of others. She thanked herself for not living in Boggins Heights or for having a funny name. But the question of asking dresses, hats and other items was troubling her. Often Peggy asked such questions, but Maddie always felt ashamed. In reality, this game about dresses was invented by Peggy. It was Maddie's desire that Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Penrosky. Today, Maddie was busy with her arithmetic problems. She decided to write a note to Peggy on the point that they would stop asking Wanda how many dresses she possessed. She started writing, but suddenly she stopped. She viewed a new target for Peggy and other girls. She would tell others that it was Peggy's old dress and her Maddie's mother had mended it so that none could recognize it. She also thought that she would decide not to make fun of Wanda. With these words, Peggy tore up the note. Peggy also knew that Wanda hardly said anything to others. Maddie was lost in wonder about her 100 dresses. Then the drawing and color contest came to her mind. For the girls, the contest was to design dresses. The boys were to design motorboats. Maddie was hopeful that Peggy would win because she was good at designing. She could copy a picture from a magazine quite alike. Next day it was drizzling, so without waiting for Wanda, they hurried to school for the result. The moment they entered the room, they were amazed to see drawings all over the room. They were in dazzling colors of lavish designs. They must have been 100, and all were lined up. Everybody stopped and praised this grand work. In no time, Miss Mason announced the winners. Who was the Miss Mason? Miss Mason was their teacher. Miss Mason announced Jack Bagels from the boys. About girls, she told that there were just 1 or 2 sketches submitted by most girls, but there was a single girl in room 13 who had drawn 100 different designs. All should be proud of her. The judges had viewed that each drawing was worthy of the prize. Wanda Penrosky was the winner. She had been absent for some days, and applauses were due for her. All students were happy and burst into applause. Labor gives result. Now come to the part 2. Let's know the summary. Miss Mason, their teacher, received a letter from Wanda's father. She read it for the class. Wanda's father had informed Miss Mason that Wanda would not come to the school anymore. They were moving to big city where nobody would ask Wanda about her funny name. The entire class got tensed and they felt bad about Wanda. Maddie could not concentrate on her studies. She had a sick feeling. She felt that she was a coward and never stopped Peggy from making fun of Wanda. She wanted to meet Wanda and say that she had not meant to hurt her feelings. She made up her mind to go to her house and tell Wanda that she had won the contest and her 100 dresses were beautiful. When school was dismissed, Peggy and Maddie went to Boggins Heights. On the way, Peggy said that she never called Wanda a foreigner or made fun of her name. She never thought that Wanda had the sense to know they were making fun of her. Peggy thought that Wanda was too dumb. Maddie said nothing. She just wanted to meet Wanda and tell her that they were sorry for their rude treatment. She wanted to request her not to move away. Both the girls found her house but could not meet Wanda, as her family had already left the place. They came back. Peggy tried to defend her behavior by saying that if she had not asked Wanda about her dresses, she would not have got the ideas for her drawings. But Maddie was not satisfied. She could not sleep that night. Now Maddie decided that she would not keep quiet if someone teased anybody about their funny names, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but now she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. On Saturday, both Peggy and Maddie wrote a friendly letter to Wanda telling her that she had won the contest. They signed it with lots of X's for love and mailed to Boggins Heights. Days passed, but there was no answer from Wanda. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, and Maddie put herself to sleep at night making speeches about Wanda. It was Christmas time when Miss Mason received a letter from Wanda. Wanda had written that the girls could keep those 100 dresses because in her new house she had 100 new ones. she had gifted special drawings to Peggy and Maddie. They accepted the drawings and pinned them in their bedrooms. Maddie was missing her too much. Tears blurred her eyes, and she gazed for a long time at the picture. She found that the face in the drawing looked like her. She was excited to see that Wanda had made the drawing specially for her. She ran to Peggy's house and saw her drawing too. Peggy was also happy to see that the face and head of the following looked like her. Peggy consoled herself by saying that Wanda really liked them. Maddie agreed and blinked away the tears that come every time she thought of Wanda Pendrowski. From this story, you got a very beautiful message. Apparently, it is a very beautiful story, but it has an underlying meaning. Throughout the story, the author gives us a subtle meaning, subtle message. So, what is it? I have said part 1 and part 2 together so that you can understand this crucial message. Part 1 tells us a theme of discrimination between upper class and lower class, and a judgmental attitude that is represented by Peggy and Maggie, who constantly disturbed Wanda. For Wanda used to wear same dress, which is faded blue colored dress every day, and Wanda told she had 100 different types of beautiful dresses. So that is the conflict, and that conflict arose in the mind of Peggy and Maddie. So that is the theme, that is the message. But this theme that is transformed in part 2. What is it? Part 2 tells us Wanda Pendrowski represented herself as an unique character. Of course, she had a unique name. Pendrowski is a very different name, difficult name for pronunciation, and that is difficult for everyone, not only me, for everyone. Pendrowski. So Pendrowski indicates here a unique quality of Wanda, and of course Wanda has a unique quality. She used to paint very differently, and that is unique quality, and she is unique. She is a very beautiful girl in her quality. So that is told, that is totally the theme of the story is transformed in part 2. That is the message. And in part 2, Peggy and Maggie just shocked to see Wanda, and they understood Wanda is really a high-reached, quality-based girl, high-reached above many other students. So that is the theme, that is the message of this story. It is a very beautiful story. I have told you, read repeatedly, and in next video I will provide all the question answers. Okay, thank you.